Welcome to your weekend focus for February the 4th and the 5th, 2023. So, of course, we have the full moon in Leo at 16 degrees, and we will get into all of that and so much more. Let's start at the beginning. I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. You guys rock. We have the four energy today. So, our Saturday, we have the four energy. Now, the four energy is about having your ducks in a row, your foundations, your cornerstones, your values, home and family. And the attention will be drawn a little bit more in those areas to grow those areas, to strengthen those areas in our life. If we look at the numerology of the day for Saturday, it is a 2 plus 4 plus 7, and that gives us a 13 energy. The 13 energy is about releasing the past, tapping into your inner child, bring a feeling of freedom and liberation into your life. So it could be changing habits, behaviors, tearing down walls that we have built. If we look at Sunday, we have the 5 energy, and the 5 energy is extremely busy energy. So we will find our plates very full. It's also about creating happiness, joy, laughter, giggles, smiles. It's about allowing your creativity to flow, your inner expression. Now, if we do the numerology of the day, it would be a 2 plus 5 plus 7, which gives us a 14 energy, and that's how we get to the 5. So the 14 energy is having more by having less. It's also strengthening ourselves, growing ourselves, seeking knowledge, seeking opportunities, seeking travel. Sun is in Aquarius for the weekend. The moon will enter Leo, I believe Saturday morning. By the time we all get up, the moon has entered Leo. And then, of course, on Sunday, we have the full moon at 16 degrees of Leo. Now, if you have been paying attention the last 3 or 4 months, all the new moons have been on the 1 degree mark, and all the full moons have been at 16 degrees, which is quite rare. And it's very pivotal spots. So the 16 energy is about, it's an awakening. It's understanding, a whole new path forward. You see a whole new reality that you never even really realized existed, or never gave it the time or energy or thought that it would be a part of your path forward. And it's about letting go. It's about letting go parts of our lives that hold us back, they hold us back. They hinder us from going forward in the way we want. As far as the astrology is concerned, on Saturday, actually, Venus and Mars will be duking it out in the sky. They're not getting along. So we have a lack of self-control. We're a lot more impulsive. Our passions run extremely high when Venus and Mars are not getting along. So we can be competitive, but it's also a time that if we focus our attention, we can be very creative, we can be very passionate, we can be very invigorated on going forward and in being in the moment. So it's a very stimulating energy if we allow it. But a lot of times we get competitive or impulsive, or we need change. We need something different, and it's very spontaneous energy, and it's energy that doesn't really last. We really didn't want that something different after all, but it took us going through a rough patch in order to figure that out, perhaps. So that comes into play, of course, because then it's 12 or 15 hours later, we have the full moon. And so it's what is being formed in the sky is called a T square. Okay, it actually looks like a triangle, so okay, it's a T square. But what it means is the sun is here and the moon is here, and Aquarius is here, and it's squaring both the sun and moon. So this is one of those full moons where we have, huge mood swings. We can be very impulsive. We don't have any patience. We don't want to follow any rules. And anything that holds us back, we will rebel. So there's definitely a patience and an adaptability that needs to be applied here in order to use this energy effectively. Okay, we can get stubborn, we can get unwilling to change or have to go with the flow or adapt to something. And so what will happen is we will try to fight it, and because we try to fight it, it's a very spontaneous action, and that's when the mistakes happen. That's when the accidents come into play. So we have to take it back. Okay? We have this need for independence, of emotional detachments. I can see relationships being really rocky throughout the next couple of weeks where things come to the surface. Okay, and those things come to the surface so that we can communicate about them, so we can devise a plan of action. It's not to bury it, and things that are buried under this kind of energy, it serves absolutely no good purpose in your life. So it's about bringing it to the surface and walking through those problems, those problem areas within relationships. And remember, we might get a little competitive here, or we might be very passionate, or very, I see us with a lot of energy. So invigorated comes to mind again. So we have to be very self-aware of ourselves. We have to have a flexibility. And that can open some very exciting opportunities for us. Okay, especially with the five energy being around us. Because we're looking to create the joy, we're looking to create the abundance, we're looking to create the giggles and laughter. So it's very important under this energy that, we want to work hard. Absolutely. We want to show up and be present for our goals and our dreams and our desires. But we need to take those breaks to recharge our batteries. Especially when we're into a brand new moon phase. So the full moon comes, and sometimes we need to recharge. Sometimes we need to wind down a little bit. Have some solitude in our life. Okay, so when we feel like we don't want the people around us, or we're not really getting that emotional commitment that we usually give to others, it's okay. And it's there so that you can go within and understand what your heart is saying. Okay, so what is in your heart? It's okay to feel whatever you feel. It's okay to want to self-express in any way, and it's time to understand how to bring that out into the world. Okay, well, let's get to the cards. So yeah, it probably won't be a smooth full moon. And people who aren't aware of these things will be a lot more spontaneous, a lot more impulsive, you'll see a lot of lack of self-control. Is that an oxymoron that I'm saying there? Okay, there, and oh my gosh, all the cards just went flying. Oh my gosh. What have we got? We got the Hangman way down there. We got the Star. We got the Ten of Cups. All the big guys went flying out of the deck. Okay, well, I'm going to put them back into the deck. Oh, and then we had the Two of Pentacles again. Somebody was asking a little bit more in depth what that one meant in the reading. Okay, so here's what it is. Okay, you've got options, you've got choices, you've got decisions to make in your life, and it doesn't mean you need to act on those decisions yet. Okay, but it's about making a firm decision. So let's say you wanted to step into some kind of talent or ability. Maybe you have a raw creative talent and you want to perfect it. You want to hone it. And so you make the decision that next September you're going back to school. Okay? And you start to devise the plan for that. Okay? Now, we have two ships coming in. We got a pentacle in each hand. So it tells us that whichever ship we decide on, whichever hand we decide on, whatever path we decide on, will be good choices. It'll be a good choice. And maybe that's because now we can work. Now that we've made the decision, now we can start devising a plan internally within our own thoughts. We don't need to share it with anybody. We don't need to act upon it, but we do need to make a decision of some sort. Otherwise, we kind of sit in limbo for this energy. And so this is a good time to use the energy. When this card comes out, it's a good time to use the energy to look towards making the decision to step into a path that leads to your best life ever. Okay? So I just thought when that card came out, maybe that came out for you because you asked. And I know what you're going through, and I didn't use your example, but I'm sure you can apply it. So it's about making the decision. It's about deciding that eventually this is what you're going to do. Because what that does is it allows your brain to start working of ways of maybe, creating the finances to pay for the tuition, or finding the courses that suit you best in the time frames, or whatever it may be. Okay, so just know I love you. Okay, let's get to the cards. Enough jabbering. I think that was just a little bit of a personal reading for somebody in the group, but maybe it touched a lot of you, and maybe you had questions, so it was pulled out there for you. Okay, our shadow card, and we're going to find out what is pushing that shadow. So I've got two cards there. And look at this. So yeah, here we are. Here we are, the Knight of Wands. It's like you've been going through the woods and you had to dismount from your horse, and there were logs in the way and big rocks that you had to go around, and it was slow going, and then you walked for this one day and realized you came back to the exact same rock you were at in the morning, and you just walked in a circle. And so you feel like you backtracked and you're back at square one. And we can kind of relate to that in our lives of going through this very thick forest and having to dismount from our horse. But all of a sudden we come upon the tree line and we open up to this horizon that is just unending. It's this wide open field. And we get on our horse and we raise our sword and we yell, charge. And so that is the energy that we are going to feel as we walk through this weekend. We are going to want to jump on that stallion and yell, charge. The card underneath it is the Nine of Swords. The worries, the concerns, can I take a risk on myself? Can I believe in myself? Can I believe in my dreams, the possibilities, my potential? Can I lean on the magic of the universe, of God, my angels, my guides? So there's going to be a lot of the lack of confidence. And so we try to get this confidence back by force. So I think we have a lot of worries. We have a lot of concerns. We want to jump on that stallion. We want to raise our sword. We want to yell charge. But there are a whole bunch of things that are holding us back. Little, tiny, petty, small little things. But it all amounts to some great hurdles, some great challenges, some big walls that we need to tear down in order to go forward in the way we want. And the full moon energy is beautiful for that, because the full moon energy is about release, letting go, rejuvenating yourself, putting a completion or a healing. Maybe what is in your heart has been, there's bandages and scars all over it, and so you don't want to release it back. And your beauty, your love, your creativity, your self-expression back out into the world because it hurt the last time you did it. Okay, so there could be a percentage of healing that needs to go on. Okay, our first card is the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups has been getting more and more frequent. And this talks about if we want to go forward, yeah, there's some things that we have to walk away from that we've grown used to, we like in our life. But it's also holding us back. So let's say you want to step into a career of your choosing, but you have this job that pays the bills and keeps the roof over the head and puts the food on the table, and you don't like it and you dread having to work every single day. You look forward to days off and vacations so that you can actually do some of the things that you like to do, although you're probably too tired and worn out because your job is depressing. But you felt that security, and that security, getting that paycheck every week, brought a smile to your face. You had money again. You could pay the bills. You could get some groceries. You could go on a vacation. You could, buy that car, go for that loan, get that mortgage, whatever it might have been. So it gave you that sense of false security, perhaps, because it gave you a little bit of happiness. Now, this could also be where you have to change. Let's say you're going to get that job promotion, and now you're going to be on the 5th floor. So you have to leave all your friends, your coworkers. I mean, they became your family. You've been working with them for a couple of years now, and you go to this new floor where you don't know anybody. You're the new neighbor in town, right? Everyone's looking at you. And so, yeah, we have to get out of our comfort zones, and we have to step away from some of the things that we like. Don't worry. If it's supposed to be in your life, it will show back up again. So it's not like a complete disconnect. Okay? This could also be, the young adult leaving home for the very first time. And even though there's a lot of fear because they know that now they are responsible for all the bills and filling the fridge and stuff like that, they're also excited in anticipation for what could be in the tomorrow. And so we have to look and tap into that anticipation inside of us rather than allowing those fears and anxieties to take over and cripple us. Okay, we have the High Priestess. Oh, there's magic around you when the High Priestess shows up. More importantly, there is magic within you. And magic within you, or potential in you, should I say, that you haven't even scratched the surface on yet. You just don't know how great you can be because you've never pushed yourself to that point for whatever reason. Maybe people told you that you shouldn't showboat your talents and abilities. Be a little humble. Stop bragging about yourself so much. Maybe it was somebody told you weren't good at it. And even though you'd like to putter in it still, you don't share it with anybody because you don't want that kind of criticism coming in again in your life. Maybe somebody always told you, this is where you are. And we're all programmed to a certain point that way. If you talk to a large corporation and they put out, and we're hiring general laborers, thousands of resumes come in, thousands upon thousands. We all think, oh, I can do general labor. But then they go, oh, we have a management position available, and they'll get 200 or 300. Because we are programmed to push ourselves down, to not see our potential, to not rise above and challenge ourselves to new heights. And so the magic shows up here. Okay, so we're looking into our tomorrows. We're seeing a lot of the pitfalls. We really want to go forward in some way. And this is about sitting in quiet contemplation and realizing the magic that you already have within you to take you forward so that you can raise that bar, so that you can tear down that wall, so that you can push past that hurdle, what's holding you back. And then the devil shows up. The devil's the 15 energy. The devil is, the phoenix rising out of the ashes. And this is you. And this is creating a brand new you. How you love. What, defining beauty, defining value. So, once again, in order for the new you to, or you to transform into that new you, there has to be things that fall away, that burn away, that turn to ash, that are no longer present in your life. So there is a lot of energy here so far about what do we need to release? What do we need to let go of? What walls do we need to tear down? We have the Ace of Pentacles. So there is new beginnings towards abundance. Absolutely. Now, what does abundance mean to you? It could mean good health. It could mean enough money in the bank that you don't have to worry. It could be friends and family and having that close knit community around you. What is abundance to you? Or is it a blend of things? How do you know if abundance has arrived in your life? What does it look like to you? So we have the Ace of Pentacles here, and this usually denotes a brand new path towards abundance. So we could be clearing away for those new beginnings. We could know what the new beginning is and utilize this full moon to maybe clear the path a little bit, allow completion and healing in. But usually with the Ace of Pentacles, we kind of get a little signal, an aha moment, and maybe an epiphany, or something happens. Somebody gives us something that allows us to move forward, or we overhear something that allows us to tell us we're on the right path, that we have the right thoughts. Even if your next door neighbor told you were crazy for thinking of going in this direction, but you believe it in your heart, this is a time when the universe says, here, we'll show you it's the right way. We'll give you this. And so your sign could be very, very private and just to you, that only you would understand, or it could be a billboard. So this definitely represents new paths towards abundance in your life, and that could be financial. That could also be love. Okay, very much the same vibration. This is, and it's strong, and it's grounded. So whatever those successes are that you want to walk towards, there is this grounding energy with the Pentacles. Okay, it's the earth, it's your sight, it's your sound, it's your senses. It's about your connection with nature. And our last card is the Two of Swords. Oh, we have decisions to make. Now, a couple of things with this card is there's a lot of emotion attached to these decisions. And since it's at the very end, we probably won't be making these firm decisions until probably closer to the end of this full moon energy. There's a lot of emotion attached to it. So either it pains you to have to take certain steps in new directions, that you're leaving apart a safety net, or something that made you feel secure, or something that made you feel grounded or loved in some way, and we need to move past it maybe in order to embrace new beginnings and new starts in our life, new relationships in our life. We're wearing red, so these are passionate things. These are things filled with passion. And it's going to take courage to make the right decision here. Because I think there's an easy road, and then there's the road you need to take. And you need to take that road, but there's an easier road. And you're tired. And it's exhausting. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. That path remains exhausting. So this is about making a decision of taking new paths, of taking new roads, of thinking of new dynamics to enter into your life or your environment. And the last thing here I want to point out is that we are blindfolded. So what is in the external will not give us the answers we are looking for. You have to once again go within. Contemplate your potential. Contemplate your truth. And that's where you're going to find the true answer to your decisions that you are trying to make. Okay, we've got a mantra card. Now, this isn't called the mantra card deck. It's called Mystical Wisdom deck. I don't point that out enough. But anyways, in the description box, I always leave the decks I used in the order I used them. So if you ever want to go and get a deck of your own that you like them, then there's the information for you. Sometimes you just want to know the name of the deck or who they're made by. But for whatever reason, they're always in the description box. And we have self-reliance. Don't be afraid to fly solo. Which means we have to take the excuse off the table. Well, if these guys would do what they were supposed to do, then I could do what I'm supposed to do. You need to do what you can do, and never mind what everybody else is doing. There are things that you can apply right now in your life and do in your life where you don't need anybody else to do their thing first. So, it's not what can you do, but what can you do in this moment that will count. Self-reliance. Don't be afraid to fly solo. Okay, I'm going to hold that card up. It's a beautiful card. So that you can meditate on it. So we'll bring her into focus there for you. So look at that. We're strong. We're tall. And talk about self-reliance and confidence. I came across this the other day, so I will share it with you. I always talk about the Superman pose and standing there and seeing your potential of the day unfold before you for 5 minutes. And so anyways, when you stand in that pose, your body automatically starts to release testosterone. So you start building that confidence and that inner strength when you stand in that pose. So just, I like to throw in the science whenever possible to give the things I'm telling you a little bit of validation, credibility. That it's not just some kind of spiritual voodoo, but it's actually the things that we should be practicing because our bodies already know what to do. We just have to know what to do. Okay, self-reliance. So have the courage and fortitude to lovingly assert yourself and your point of view. When you do this, you gain respect and support from friends, family, colleagues. It will take a boldness and integrity to stand up for yourself and be counted. Sometimes, especially more so when nobody else seems to be supporting you. Trust yourself. Value your own opinions and judgment. Flying solo is a challenge that takes courage and confidence. This is your road to freedom. Become lion-hearted and know that your best protection is your own spine. And the mantra is, if it is to be, it is up to me. So if it is to be, it is up to me. So it's about taking ownership for the things that we need to get done in our life. What am I doing here? Okay. I grabbed that deck completely upside down. It's right now, though, so. We'll get an animal card. Of course, we will go to a Journey of Love card because it is a full moon, and we have the dog, the friend. Okay. Come on. Today I will love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration. I choose to be happy. I am a protector and a friend. So I think that this weekend it will be hard to love without condition. So there's a challenge for us right there. Okay? Because the energy is going to do the exact opposite to us unless we channel it in. So today I will love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration, so get inspired instead of fearful about going forward and seeing those thoughts and thinking them coming into reality. I choose to be happy. It is a choice. I choose to be happy. I am a protector. I am a friend. Okay, the Journey of Love card. Now, thank you to everybody who has left a review. You guys are awesome. I appreciate it. I'll start working harder for them. And I'm getting everything. There's new banners showing up on YouTube and Facebook, and Instagram is kind of, we'll get there. I am having my challenges because I was hacked, like, what was it, like 9 months ago or something, and it really destroyed a lot of things that I can do, and we're trying to put those things in place. I had the most amazing web designer ever, firstwave.ca. I don't think they even need any more business, because they're just amazing at what they do. So they are in high demand. And we worked on it for like a very long time today. Like, I'm not used to 8-hour days, but it's looking beautiful, and I'm slowly in the process of rebranding Tarot with Tilly and being here for you and doing so much more. My son found out today I've got 8.8 million views, I think that is, and 5,800 videos I have now put out for free on YouTube since I started this path. So I do work hard for you guys, or I try to at least. So thank you for that. I'm getting excited. When the website comes out, prepare to be amazed. That's all I've got to say. Okay, we have the spaces between the words, 24 energy. So the 24 energy is about love. It's about relationships. It's about growing those relationships strong, deepening those relationships. It's also about your own health and well-being and growing yourself strong. Okay, so we will read the poem. I will hold the card up. It's quite interesting. Okay, I'm going to hold this card up and see what you see as I read the words. Daybirth, the eastern rise of time. On newborn wings, bursts out across the lifeless crowd and sings its climb to heights unknown, of beauty, warmth, and power upon its throne, to fade again in western sky, and only for a moment lie, before it takes its course again, to breathe once more in heart of man. Okay, the spaces between the words. So when we look for guidance, we often look for words that clarify, reassure, and help us find our authentic path through the chaos. Yet there is also guidance in spaces between the words, between each letter, between all the happenings in our lives, where there is nothing to be said, where there are no lines to be colored in, where there is just openness. Those are the times when we need to freestyle. We need to do or not to do based on what is happening for us right at the moment. Often there is far less to do than we think. Often we don't even need to think. There is a space forming around you now. Sometimes, when we sense this subconsciously, we feel exhilarated, excited, anxious, and nervous, and not even sure why. There is a sense, perhaps, that we wouldn't mind having a map of this unknown terrain, or perhaps we are happy to wing it and just make it up as we go. Either way, there is space to just be. It is a receiver for the divine presence. If you have a lot of space of unknowing around you now or within you, then just know that there is a lot of divine presence to be received. It can't be explained really. It happens between the words, and yet without it, there wouldn't be any words, any guidance at all. This oracle speaks to you. Enter the space and let go, for your time to receive is upon you. Be blessed. Doesn't that sum it up? So we have a lot of energy to deal with. I am, for the month of February, putting up at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Patreon, TikTok, Facebook. I'm trying with Instagram. 5 a.m., less than a minute long, a gratitude little short for you. Just to start your day, start that positive energy flowing, and start creating a better tomorrow for yourself today. So, until we meet again, remember, I do love you.